Am I the asshole? A subreddit created in 2013 by a guy who wanted to know if he was the asshole for mansplaining to female co-workers. According to his internet jury, he wasn't. But since then, there have been hundreds of thousands of submissions. Humans querying as to whether their moral compass led them astray in a conversation with another human being. Whether you contribute as a potential asshole or not, millions of people come together to form this unofficial internet jury. Suppose we're ready.
Let's do it.
All right. Welcome back to Learning Things, a show where we pick a topic and we learn some things about it. Anything else you wanted to add?
Do you have a fun fact?
Right now?
Yeah.
On the spot?
Yeah.
A coin dropped from the Empire State Building will not kill someone?
Wow. Boom.
We just watched a myth-busting video on that. Anyway, today we are talking about Am I the Asshole? Otherwise known as AITA. It's a subreddit on Reddit. And if you're not a Reddit user, then like all of this jargon kind of doesn't really make much sense. But basically Reddit is a forum site and there are various different, you call them channels, you could call them categories. Reddit uses the term subreddit. Sorry.
Just whacking the microphone. Oh, that is solid.
There's girth to an SM7B. Right on the veins.
Girthy boy. Explaining Reddit in 2023 is a little weird.
I know. Yeah, but there's still like most of my like real life friends. That's what I call you, by the way. Like if you're not chronically online, you're a real life friend.
The IRLs.
The IRLs. So Am I the Asshole was first created, the subreddit itself, by a guy named Mark Bolak. And the reason, he was a photographer and a dog rescuer, which is a...
Genius.
I don't know, did he give himself the title dog rescuer?
Did he just adopt a bunch of dogs and went like, you know what?
Photographer is a career.
Oh, as a career choice?
Well, that's his bio. His bio is like photographer and dog rescuer. That's how he was referred to on the Wikipedia.
I guess it could be a hobby to rescue dogs.
Yeah, but unless you're Niall Harbison, that guy in Thailand that just like rescues
absolute G. Champion amongst men.
Niall, I interviewed him when I worked at Lad Bible.
Shouts
you are
out.
a fucking
Shout
G.
out.
Absolutely love him. But he's not Niall Harbison.
No, he's just got a lot of dogs.
Anyway, it's unrelated and it doesn't matter. So we move forward. The reason he created this subreddit was because he had the very first moral question to pose. He had his first Am I the Asshole moment.
The very first in history, actually.
Yeah, well, he was wondering if he'd been inappropriately mansplaining to female co-workers at his workplace about the temperature in their office.
Probably.
You can kind of imagine exactly.
If you're explaining shit about the temperature, you're probably mansplaining or over-explaining it.
Yeah, but also like we've spoken about this before in terms of like my showers, the temperature of my showers is like colossally damaging to your skin.
Scalding.
Whereas that's how I like it. And I create my own personal sauna.
Hellfire every time you want to bathe.
Whereas you like a timid little lukewarm.
It's hot. There's steam.
I wouldn't use the word
If
hot.
there's steam, that means it's hot.
It's warm, sure.
It's steamy.
I think rats' baths are hotter than your showers.
Sometimes you run them and I go like, oh shit, that's a bit.
Are you for real?
100%. I do the elbow test and I'm like, oh god damn, that's a bit spicy.
I was just about to say, I do that with rats.
Yeah.
And I don't know if my weenus has lost like nerve endings there or something.
No doubt. Over the years of you having showers that would literally like make a comfortable cup of coffee.
Wow. You're so right. I shower at the temperature of which I like to drink my black coffee. That's psycho. Anyway, this is about Am I the Asshole? So he wasn't the asshole in that situation apparently, in that very first Am I the Asshole post. And we're not going to go into that one because we have quite a few prepared for today.
Perfect.
But we're going to finish the history. Now, the idea, as we covered in the intro, is exactly that. You come out of a situation, maybe it's an issue with colleagues or family member. Family members are big ones on Am I the Asshole?
Oh, yeah.
Roommates, things like that. You come out of a confrontation or something where there's been some kind of argument, and after some reflection, you're like, shit, am I the asshole in this situation? Because like maybe you just can't work out why they're so angry at you. Because we've all been in that situation where you get to a point where you're like, wait, am I the fucking asshole here? Because like I don't feel like I'm doing anything wrong.
Every night, if I go out clubbing I'll wake up the next morning and just think I'm a massive asshole. Probably because I am.
That's called anxiety. I thought you were going somewhere else. You're like, every night. And I'm like, oh no.
I worded it very poorly and I kind of had to stumble over myself to get to my point. But I got there eventually.
You and me both, brother. You and me both. So you might go to Am I the Asshole and you post your predicament with the question, am I the asshole? And you basically let the internet be your judge and jury. That's essentially what Am I the Asshole is.
It's how the law system should work.
I
Just
agree.
post your crime on Reddit and then the general consensus, that's what you get.
Because you know what else is interesting about that comparison is that like people utterly despise the concept of jury duty. As a society, we have gotten so good at pretending we can't go.
I'm pretty sure I've been summoned a few times and I just don't respond to the letter.
I've been summoned twice. I can't remember how I got out of it the first time, but the second time was when I lost sight in my right eye.
That'll do it.
From optic neuritis. So I was like, fam, I can't see. And they let me off. But
obviously.
Having said that, Reddit is like millions of people voluntarily.
And it's anonymous.
So that's the premise of Am I the Asshole? Covered that. The subreddit didn't really gain popularity until 2018, so like 5 years after. I can only imagine the reason for this is because people were posting, like cross-posting Am I the Asshole posts to places like Twitter.
Right, it wasn't just like focused to the subreddit.
Right, as like Twitter got more popular because all the memes were being posted to Instagram. Like Instagram doesn't have memes, it just cross-posts Twitter memes.
Yeah, it's pretty secondhand content for the most part.
Like literally, it's funny when you think about it though, like literally every text post kind of meme thing where it's just text, it's a tweet. Like if you use Twitter, you identify the font and like stuff like, God, that sounds so nerdy, shoot me in the face. But like you do, like you identify the font and you're like, yeah, that's
Color
a tweet.
Of the background.
Even just like the format at which a tweet is written, you can you can work out like where it's from.
You can spot it.
I don't think I've ever seen an Am I the Asshole post on Instagram though.
Not directly. Like someone's uploaded a selfie and in the bio, it's just like, am I the asshole?
That's way too much words for the Instagram users.
That
no
is
wonder
true.
They're not going crazy. So it took 6 years for Am I the Asshole to reach 1 million users. But as of filming this video today, it is the 27th of August, 2023, in case you're wondering. It has 10.2 million users.
10 million?
Yeah. This is funny. An ethicist I learnt today is someone who studies the world of ethics. An ethicist. Almost as hard as an ethicist.
Working overtime the last 3 years.
Anaesthetist. This ethicist at Princeton University, Eleanor Gordon Smith, spoke to The Guardian about the subreddit Am I the Asshole? And she said there's something almost thrilling about peeking behind the curtain into other people's lives, hearing their weird thoughts, what they think deep down of their partners, children, friends. And I couldn't agree more. So here we are today, and we are about to be the judge, jury, and executioner for some of the great Am I the Asshole posts. But before we get into it, a little bit of housekeeping, particularly for those of you who have never been A, on Reddit, B, on the Am I the Asshole subreddit, C, don't understand the way that Redditors work, which is completely understandable. Very weird group of people.
Normies.
No, we can't call them that.
Is that a slur? I need an ethicist.
What is the appropriate way to refer to someone who isn't chronically online? Yeah, normal. A normie.
Normie.
It's not a slur at all. Now, in terms of what happens after you post your prerogative, like your Am I the Asshole situation, there's a couple of different responses you can get from commenters. And they come in the form of, the first one is NTA.
Not the asshole.
YTA.
You're the asshole.
NAH.
No asshole hotel.
No assholes here.
No assholes
so
here.
Fucking close.
Fuck.
And ESH.
Everyone saves holes.
Everyone sucks here. And the last thing, people add flares when they are making this post to kind of give you a bit more context. So they won't say like, I am a 35-year-old male. They'll be like, me, bracket, 35N, close bracket, and my wife, bracket. And it's really jarring when you're reading it. So I'm going to try and do that work for you. But without further ado, let's get into some of the greatest Am I the Asshole posts. There's a mixture of like definite asshole situation,
Okay.
definite not the asshole situation, and kind of like a mix of all of it.
Mixed bag. I like
Like,
it.
for example, a really good example of everyone sucks here was the classic, am I the asshole for switching to regular milk to prove my lactose intolerant roommate keeps stealing from me? Which is so
That's
menacing.
gold. That's
Isn't
gold.
that menacing though? Like they're not just like, they've gotten to a point where they're like, I'm going to cause this motherfucker some serious toilet time.
I mean, at that point, you're not an asshole. You're just a vigilante.
Well, that's why it was everyone sucks here. The roommate shouldn't have been stealing from it, but you also shouldn't
That's
have been
fair.
taking advantage of a medical condition to
That's
cause them
fair.
ill. But also, like, I kind of don't see them as the asshole.
No, you're going to steal my shit. I'm going to poison my shit.
That's goblin mode. Okie dokie. The very first one is, am I the asshole for telling my wife the lock on my daughter's door does not get removed till my brother-in-law and his daughters are out of our house? That's the other great thing about Am I the Asshole? You read the title and you're like, I have no idea what the fuck is going on here, but I will read.
That's a family dynamic that is interesting.
My brother-in-law, Sammy, lost his home shortly after his divorce 10 months ago. He moved in with us and brought his twin daughters, Olivia and Sloane, both 18, I'm guessing. Yeah, twins, that makes sense. Sorry.
It does check out.
With him a couple of months ago. His sister, who is the original
wife.
poster's wife, and I have one daughter, Zoe, who is 16 years old. And she and her cousins aren't close, but get along fine. Olivia and Sloane, the twin daughters, have no respect for Zoe's privacy, none. They used to walk into a room and take everything they'd get their hands on, makeup, phone accessories, clothes, school laptop, etc. Zoe complained a lot, and I've already asked the girls to respect Zoe's privacy and stop taking things. My wife and Sammy saw no issue with this. After all, they're girls and this is typical teenage girl behaviour. I completely disagreed. The OP, not me.
Yes.
I haven't given my thoughts
You're
yet.
impartial at this moment in time.
Currently. The last straw was when Zoe bought a $60 MAC makeup kit that looks like a paint set that she saved up for over a month. And side note here, like that's 60 American dollars. That'd be close to like
That's like
100
$100.
Australian. Like those MAC, if you're a lady.
At 16, like that's a lot.
Yeah, if you're a girl or a gay, you know what those are. They're like the big fucking palettes with like every color you'd need. They cost a lot of money and they're very helpful. But Sloane took it without permission and ruined it by mixing shades together while using it. Don't know much about makeup, but that's what Zoe said when she found the kit on her bed and was crying. I told my wife and she said she'd ask Sloane to apologize, but I got Zoe a lock after I found she was moving valuable belongings out of the house because of this incident. So like her daughters started to keep valuable belongings outside of her own house, remembering these
that's messed. That's
cousins
messed up.
and the brother, like they're visitors. They don't live there.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Sammy and his daughters saw the lock and weren't happy. The girls were extremely upset. Sammy asked about it and I straight up told him. He said, my daughters aren't thieves. It's normal that girls of the same age borrow each other's stuff. He said Zoe could easily get another makeup kit for $15 from Walmart and shouldn't even be buying expensive adult makeup in the first place, and suggested my wife take care of this defect in Zoe's personality, trying to appear older than she is. He accused me of being overprotective and babying Zoe with this level of enablement. I told him this is between me and my wife, but she shamed me for putting a lock on Zoe's door for her cousins to see and preventing them from spending time with her, saying I was supposed to treat them like daughters, then demanded I remove it. But I said this lock does not get removed till her brother and his daughters are out of our house. Too long, didn't read. Am I the asshole for putting a lock on my daughter's door to protect her stuff from these little goblins that keep coming in and taking their shit? No, you are not.
Yeah, short answer, no. You are not an asshole at all.
Absolutely not. Firstly, you were raised with siblings.
Yes.
So you're used to the concept of going into your siblings' rooms and taking shit.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
I was an only child until I was like 12. Then I had stepbrothers. And that was like a shock to my system. Like, it's not a selfish thing. It's like, I'm just not used to the concept. I wasn't used to it. And I'm not good at sharing. I'll be the first to say it. I'm pretty selective with who I share with. What are your thoughts?
You're not an asshole. It seems like The Sammy boy is a bit of an asshole and very defensive for some reason.
Very defensive for someone who's living rent-free in a house after a divorce. No wonder I wonder what happened in the divorce, just quietly.
Where do you get off, buddy?
Where do you
get off?
All right, moving on. This one's fucking hysterical. Am I the asshole for not letting my girlfriend eat the naan bread we ordered?
Oh, this could be interesting.
Immediately. Intriguing.
Yeah, very intriguing.
My girlfriend and I got takeout from an Indian restaurant we like and order from usually when our budget allows us. This place is really the only good Indian place anywhere near us, but it is very pricey, and so we try to keep our order small. 1 entree for me, 1 entree for her, and a side of naan bread that we share. Wait, what the fuck? I hate to sound out of touch, but you guys can't afford 1 main to share? That's not much food. How big are these entrees?
Privilege alert. You can't afford more Indian takeout, you fucking brokey.
I'm just wondering if they could be spending their money more wisely. Anyway, and a side of naan bread that we share. The thing is, the side of bread isn't very much, and the entree just isn't the same without it. So it seriously annoys me when she eats the bread without dipping it in her curry. It's such a waste of the little bread that we get. I told her this before, but says it's not my concern how she eats her food, and I gotta side with her there. I'm not totally into this story yet. We haven't covered the whole thing, but so far...
So far, brother, you're making mountains out of molehills.
Except it is my concern because she is wasting a shared side. That's in caps. Whatever.
Oh, this person's heated.
Whatever, comma. I let it go each time because he's the big man.
Big man.
This time, she didn't order curry like she usually does. She got biryani, rice and meat. Love how he clarified.
He got biryani, rice and meat.
He wrote biryani and then brackets, rice and meat. Thanks, brother. So I was happy that I would get the bread to myself. When we were eating, she reaches over for the bread and eats a piece on its own. I got annoyed and moved the bread away from her. And told her that she doesn't need the bread since she isn't eating a curry and doesn't need bread, whereas I am eating a curry. So I do need bread. Also that her entree comes with rice and she can eat that. She got offended and ended up threatening not to pay her share for the food next time. A very fair threat. I don't think that's a threat either. If she's paying for the naan bread, she can shove it up her ass.
Yeah, this person needed to like sleep it off or something. This is the night of, like straight after it happened, and they're writing a heated Reddit post.
Yeah, you're so right. She also called me a greedy asshole and took her food and ate the rest in our bedroom. Oh, fair play. And I would do the same.
I mean,
I can't imagine you ever threaten it. I love the idea that he silently moved the naan bread away from her. Like, how big is the table?
That's
it would have
mine.
been it would have been noticeable enough that he's moved it, but he wouldn't have been able to move it that far because I'm guessing if they're budgeting on their Indian bread, they don't have the biggest dining table.
It's like screeching as it like.
The conversation breaks. They look at each other. He tries to play it off. No. He doesn't try to play it off. He's set in his fucking. He reckons he's
just looking her dead in the eye.
Yeah. And she's just like eating her biryani, rice and meat.
Rice and meat.
To clarify, she has rice.
She has rice.
My friends are split. Oh my God, he's consulted people. One of them says I'm in the right and it's too much carbs for one meal for her to have bread and rice. What? Who ever heard of that? Oh my God, the Italians would be out of business. Garlic bread and pasta.
This person sounds like they have a really fun group of friends.
But the other friend essentially also called me a greedy asshole. It's been hours and she's ignoring me. Am I the asshole? Yeah.
Yeah, look, mate.
Yeah.
There is so many bigger fish to fry. And if she's paid for half of that naan, she can do whatever the fuck she wants with it.
You can't decide if she gets none of it.
Ha ha! Nice.
I post a video every week. Where's the success?
Sharp.
I just realized this fucking account, it's a throwaway. Like people make a Reddit account just for the Am I the Asshole post. The name of this throwaway account is Girlfriend Wastes Bread.
Brother is vexed.
The top comment from Basic Stove 1336 says, "You are a gigantic asshole. You don't get to decide for someone how they eat their food. If you're splitting the bill, she gets to eat some bread, regardless of if you think it is being wasted as eaten. Go say you're sorry before you're single." YTA.
I mean, nail on the head right there.
Yeah, I can't add much
Just
to that.
buy more naan bread, dude. If he was paying for the entire meal, there is a small point there. But if you're buying a meal for the intention of sharing it, share it.
What I find really weird there is like the line he has drawn into when it is appropriate to have naan bread and when it isn't. I didn't realize there was an etiquette. I didn't realize that if you didn't have a curry, you don't have a reason for eating naan bread.
If you don't have anything to dip it in, there's no point using it.
We've been over this before. When we go out with these people, you must dip your fucking naan bread in the curry. No, dip that. Dip that. Don't you give the finger to me. Put it in the curry. Naan bread wasn't supposed to be eaten that way.
Can eat my bread however the fuck I want.
And that's the moral to that story. All right.
Bing bam.
Next one. Ahem. Am I the asshole for suing my girlfriend after she had my 1967 Impala project taken to the scrapyard? I'll try to keep this short. I had a 1967 Impala 4-door that I bought in February 2019. I can't help but think of that old song, I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl who looked good old collar. I wish I had a rabbit in a hat and a bat and a 6'4" Impala. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, 3 years later, this model. A couple months ago, I bought my first house that had a 2.5 car garage. Specific?
Oof.
That's a big garage.
That's a big garage, man.
What is that? 2 real cars and a smart car? 2 real cars and room for a workbench.
2 and a bike.
A bicycle.
And
a bicycle wrap. My bicycle. I moved the car in and started tearing it down for a complete restoration. I had the body in one bay and the chassis in another, plus the whole garage filled with parts. About 2 months ago, my girlfriend came to live with me during this whole crisis, and the whole time has hated that car. She wants to park in the garage, but I have 2 acres of land with a lot of nice places to park under shady trees. Or hell, even in the barn if it has to be inside. I tell her tough luck, it's my house, and it's not like I can just throw it back together real quick. That's not the point of the post, but that's an intriguing one as well. That sucks, but I kind of see, I do see where he's coming from. If the whole garage is filled with parts and this is an ongoing project and it's not feasible for him to just constantly move it in and out whenever she comes to stay, I kind of get that. But at the same time, why aren't you doing this restoration in the barn? If that's an offered place for her to park her car.
I mean, if he's got 2 acres of land, he probably has a tractor or hay bales, maybe horses in the barn.
No, but that's what I mean. He's offered her, there's plenty of space in the barn. You could park there.
Yeah, I see your point. But, I mean, if he started doing this before she moved in and there was no.
Yeah. Agree. Anyways, I was out of town for a couple of days on a business trip for this small local company I work for. I did feel like that information wasn't needed. I thought he said he was going to try and keep it quick.
He's written an essay.
When I got back, my girlfriend was all smiles, making me food all the time, doing all the chores, all that. I thought maybe she was just happy to have me home. How naive. But then I realized that I didn't see her car in its usual spot. I asked her where she parked so I could make sure I mow that area and keep it clean. And she said not to worry because she parked it in the garage. I asked how, and she told me to go check it out. Turns out that while I was gone, she hired some people to come over and move everything related to that car, including the drivetrain, body, chassis, and all parts, and take it to the local dump scrapyard. I was absolutely dumbfounded. I had spent over $11,000 on that car, including new parts, services, and the car itself. I told her that I was going to be taking her to court for that, and she brushed me off like I was being dramatic. I told her that it's done between us and to pack her things and leave. I admit I was really angry, but I did end up getting a lawyer, and as I have all the receipts for all that money spent, and I have her on my house's security cam footage, letting the guys in and watching them take it all, I think I can win. Yeah, I think you can too, brother.
Oh, 100%. You caught her red-handed.
Literally. Her family and friends are absolutely blowing me up, saying it's just a stupid old piece of junk and that she cannot pay her back all that money I spent and that I should let it go. But I have been putting all my time, effort, and money into that car for a year and a half now, and God damn it, if I am not going to get justice for what she did, am I the asshole? No. Holy shit. like put the shoe on the other foot and swap it around in terms of like a girl hobby versus a guy hobby. Imagine if she had like an $11,000 like antique bag, like a Louis Vuitton bag lying around that she was like trying to like restore some of the areas of leather. And he was like, I need more room for my socks.
My bowling ball needed a space on the shelf, so I got rid of the bag. It had a hole in it anyway.
I was thinking a hole.
Yeah, with my man.
Yeah, that one just feels...
Yeah, no, 100%. You have every right to try and reclaim that money.
I just don't understand how her friends are even like telling him he needs to let it go. Like whether or not you can be the judge on whether someone's hobby is worth it or not, like worth a certain amount of money. You know, there's some serious, like Lego, for example. There are some adults that spend thousands and thousands of dollars on Lego. And
God,
like,
I wish that were me.
I know. That's why I tread water carefully here when I say that I don't get it, but I don't... let me find the right verb here. I won't judge you for it. Oh,
You
no,
haven't
I'm judging.
experienced it yet.
Yeah, but I feel like all the fun is in building it.
Yeah, and then it's an accomplishment and it's a trophy to all that effort you put into building it.
Okay, so there are some edits, like updates to this story. But before I do that, I will just read some of the comments. First one, not the asshole, sue her ass. Sue her for the cost plus a few extra $1,000 for the time and money. Have her prosecuted for theft, destruction of private property, and have the guys that came to get it prosecuted for receiving stolen goods. Okay, no, leave them out
That's
of it.
a bit extreme.
Yeah,
they were just doing their job.
Yeah, they were just, you know, when the woman of the house tells you get rid of this, a group of men that were hired to be there aren't going to bat an eyelid.
Yeah, okay.
I really can't see a place here where what she did was okay and understandable. And how could she be happy? Like, think about that part of the story where he's like, he gets home and she's like unusually happy. It's almost...
I got what I wanted.
Yeah, it's almost like she like thought she won a battle or something.
Yeah.
All because she wanted to park her car in the garage.
It's probably a shit car too. I wish I was a little bit taller.
I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl look good. I would call her. I wish I had a rabbit in a... Huge update. They found my goddamn car. The junkyard guys apparently were in the middle of hiding it when the police came to ask them questions. It was on a forklift and they were going to put it on top of a pile of cars that was hidden behind more piles of cars. They said it was theirs and they had the title, but obviously didn't have the title for it. And since they matched the VIN on the chassis and the body to the VIN on my title, it was obviously mine.
Yes.
I know at least one person there has been arrested. I think he was even in the camera footage. Oh, wait, so there's some more shifty shit going on.
Well, I mean, it's an expensive car.
The way he said they were in the middle of hiding it, like they're probably going to sell it themselves, like it was not going to be turned into scrap.
They knew it was going to be reclaimed.
Am I the asshole for bringing my sister-in-law's wallet to the restaurant when she conveniently always forgets it? I love this already. All right, so OP is a 28-year-old female. My sister-in-law, Amy, 26-year-old female, always comes to visit from out of town. She stays with us instead of a hotel and always wants to go to expensive restaurants. She always conveniently forgets her wallet or domes up with some excuses as to why she can't pay her share. She has implied that since I make much more money than her, I should be the one to pay. I do make a fair amount of money, but not so much that I can treat someone every time they come into town. Nonetheless, in the past, I've just paid the bill and asked her to pay me back. She never has. Amy sounds like a commonplace George Costanza.
Just like, I forgot my wallet. Sorry. You're going to have to pay for it for the 8th time.
Look, how many times can you get away with that realistically?
I think like 3 tops.
Have you ever done it?
No.
Neither have I. Like on purpose. I've definitely forgotten my like payment method. It's not really wallet these days because it's all on your phone. I don't really think you have an out anymore.
No, it's like, oh, your phone has charge.
Oh, you got Apple Pay?
Oh, you can split this Uber right now.
You know, even when your phone is out of battery, they've made it so that for like they reserve a certain amount of power so that locations are on as well, obviously for safety, but so is Apple Pay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, my phone fully went dead the other day, which doesn't happen that often these days. But like I saw the little thing at the bottom. It was like location services available, Apple Pay also available. And I'm assuming it's only for like a certain amount of battery life. Yeah, but like I don't feel like you can get away with it these days.
No, not at all.
She had made a reservation at an extremely expensive restaurant last night. And before we left, I made it clear that I wouldn't be paying her bill. That's fair. And that's another thing I forgot to remember. She always books these really expensive restaurants.
Yeah. 100% knows what she's doing.
Yeah, it's not like she's going to Macca's and being like, hey, Shout me a Happy Meal.
Get a family bucket from KFC.
Well, we walked past one of those banners this morning, the McValue pack with like 17 burgers and...
Oh, 4 burgers, 6 nuggets and like a bunch of drinks?
He knows it well. It's $26.95. This is where I might be the asshole. And I'll admit, I got this move straight from an episode of 2.5 Men.
There you go.
Love the inspiration. As we were leaving, her and my husband went to the car. I pretended I forgot something and went back inside. I found her wallet sitting right at the top of her suitcase. I put it in my purse and we went to the restaurant. Oh my God, she's fully pulled it out of her fucking handbag. And
and gone, I'm just going to put that there and be like, oh, I left it there.
When we were done eating, I asked for separate bills. She said, no, we need one bill because she forgot her wallet again. I reached in my purse and said, this wallet?
This wallet? You sly fox. Trying to get away with it again?
Can you imagine that whole dinner? She was sitting there waiting.
Smug as a pug.
Waiting for that opportunity. You know when you bought someone like a present and you're just like, you're chomping at the bit, you're frothing at the mouth to be like, you want to know what it is?
What's this then? What's this?
That wallet is burning a hole in her fucking pocket.
Throws it at her.
This wallet! Fuck, I fucked it. She does it before the bill comes out. They're like halfway through dessert. This what? Oh, fuck.
This fuck again?
She was extremely furious. She said that I should not have touched or grabbed her wallet. So am I the asshole for taking her wallet and bringing it to the restaurant? No.
You're funny.
Also, it's her sister-in-law.
Gives a
It's not even her blood.
Nah.
Why is this sister-in-law, Amy, in quotation marks, even insisting that it's her that pays for it? Like, why is this between her and this original poster?
Yeah.
Like, why isn't it between her and her brother?
There's 2 other people at the table just going like, the wallet's gone as well. That's crazy.
But also, oh, this is a good point. This Am I the Asshole post was only a year ago. And this person said, I mean, even without the apps these days, how do you forget your wallet? That's a good point. Venmo, Zelle, Cash App, etc. all exist. Why is I forgot my wallet even an excuse anymore? Just have them send you the money while you're sitting at the table.
Yeah, it's like you've been scrolling Instagram between the meals.
Yeah, the George Costanza move just doesn't work in 2023, unfortunately for Amy. Am I the asshole for telling my wife that I would be perfectly capable of doing what she does? This is such a loaded title. Like, I just know where this is going.
This is gonna be sizzling.
I, 30 male, have a wife, 30 female, and a daughter, 7 female. 7 females. See what I mean? It can be jarring. 7-year-old female. I work in finance. My wife is a stay-at-home mum, as I earn sufficient for the both of us. My wife is a great stay-at-home mum and takes great care of her house. I was lucky to buy a home, as I earn well, in a medium cost of living city. That's a fucking weird sentence. Medium cost of living city.
It's not a high cost of living city, but it's not low either.
Where would that be in Australia? Like Brisbane?
Yeah. It's like, oh, well, we're not in Gympie, but we're in Brisbane.
Gympie. Fucking Gympie. I love my wife, but she finds it humorous to say that I am incapable of doing household tasks. We had agreed that she would do them when we decided she would stay at home. But I do stuff occasionally when we are both home, if she asked me to. Key point. No initiative. But then if I say load the dishwasher for her, she will claim I did it wrong just because I do it different than she does. It still cleans well, in brackets. Oh, brother. The other day we were eating and she told me about her day and how she went grocery shopping and optimized the cost by buying specific items at specific stores and accounting for the cost of traveling to each store. And she made an offhanded remark that I would never be able to do all that and said it in a what would you ever do without me kind of way. First of all, holy shit girl math.
Yeah, that's a lot of effort.
Itemizing, including the cost of travel to be, because that's a good point. Like, just because there's a discounted item at one store, you got to factor in the petrol that you're wasting to incorporate 2 different stores into one grocery trip. She's managing to do it and to count that in. Yeah, what would he do without her?
He's obviously not earning like a lot because she wouldn't have to go through that whole rigmarole if she was just chill buying the $7 noodles instead of the $5 ones.
That's actually a really good point. I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, what the fuck?
She's like, hey,
I wonder what their Indian order is. I replied back saying that of course I could do it. I handle complex decisions and calculations at my work as I work in finance, and that I have a master's degree, and what I do involves more intellect than household operations. Even though I acknowledged and appreciate what she does, I would be capable if the roles were reversed. She got angry and seemed to think I was calling her stupid when I wasn't, and then cried, and now I feel like an asshole. She said she was a very good student and she had graduated, and had she graduated, she would be in my position as well. My wife and I met in college, but she was an international student studying physics and computer science, and she had issues with her loan from her home country and couldn't afford to complete it. And we got married so then she could stay. Initially, she wanted to complete it later after finding the funds, but she agreed to be a stay-at-home mother when I got a good job, and I appreciate that a lot as we were able to have a kid early on. I reckon she's smarter than you are, just quietly. You work in finance and she was doing physics and computer engineering.
Yeah, your parents were wealthy enough to send you to college and she had to struggle.
Because she was an international student as well.
I mean,
in a foreign country.
We don't know his situation. He might have struggled to go through college as well, but I mean...
What I do know is that he's an asshole.
Why is he so defensive?
And this is all because of that comment that she made when she was itemizing all the stuff and going away and doing all that stuff, and she made a comment as if to imply, like, where would you be without me? And might I just add, I think that is the foundation of every relationship on the planet. It's just an ongoing gag. It's just an ongoing giggly moment where you just go, where would you be without me?
Oh yeah, it's the partnership thing.
Yeah, but she's done it and he's gotten his ego twisted.
He's gone, hold on, I am a finance man. I am a finance man. I have a master's degree in numbers.
Do you know how many calculations I do a day?
You couldn't do what I do. 7 times 12.
Do it, but you can't. What is 7 times 12? 84. Is that 84?
It would be 94.
7 times 12? 84.
You are correct.
All right, we're going to finish with this one. Am I the asshole for yelling at my wife after she blew up my phone with calls because of a fire? Throwaway account because some of this made local news and I don't want it connecting back to me. I work in a place where we are not allowed to have personal electronics on us at all. No phones, no smartwatches, no pages. I wouldn't work there. I value my steps too much. I love data on my Apple Watch, and when I'm going through one of my Apple Watch phases where I wear it religiously 24/7, if you told me I can't wear my Apple Watch...
Sorry, brother. I need my 10,000 steps.
It is painful for me to take it off to go into the sauna for 10 minutes. Because I've always been curious. Your heart rate goes up. Surely you're burning calories in there. Anyway. I've been working here for about 6 months, so my wife knows this and understands that she should not try to contact me by my cell at work. Phones are dropped off in our lockers, and I typically have mine on Do Not Disturb. Before this incident, my phone has never gone off in the locker before. Recently, there was a pretty big fire at a secondary work site that I do work at occasionally, but that day I was working at the main building. Local news covered the fire before I found out about it because, again, no electronics. Plus, the work we do isolates us a bit, so news travels pretty slowly. There were a few casualties, a lot of seriously injured folk.
Casualties?
My wife has been watching the news from home and started freaking out, I guess. She called me 20 freaking times, which, and I did not know this was possible, overrode my D&D, and my phone was ringing for a while in my locker. In the middle of my shift, I got called into my manager's office and was chewed out and written up for my phone making so much noise. They told me to go take care of whatever it was making my phone go off before I went back to work. Where do you work?
If there's people dying at your workplace and they're like, brother, turn your phone on silent, you got fucking work to do.
That's so weird. I can imagine, like, even a teacher, imagine if your phone was going, like, your phone was being rung 20 times in your locker. Truly, I think a teacher would be like, hey, do you want to check your locker?
Yeah, it'd be like alarm bells, like something's that urgent.
It'd be like, is something okay? Also, love that he doesn't know how Do Not Disturb works. It blocks the first 5 calls, but if there's a certain person in your contacts calling you, like if you call a certain amount of times in a row, it'll override it.
Oh.
Apple can't be responsible for people missing out on safety messages.
Well, there you go. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So like it'll block the first, I don't know, I think you can set how many calls it will block.
Like filter out.
Yeah, silence. Silence. Then now you know how to fuck with your friends if you know that they have their phone on Do Not Disturb.
Just spam their
20
phone.
times. Also, yeah, that's really weird. I don't know where he works that they would
Area 51? Does he work at like a government place?
If he did, I don't know how local news would cover a fire because they're like...
Well, if the Pentagon was on fire, they would be like, fuck, the Pentagon's on fire. And then there's like people dying. But then at the other side of the Pentagon, they'd be like, you got to do your shit.
You might be onto something. Maybe he's working for some kind of like high up government operation. Tell us more, OP. You're on a throwaway account already. I won't lie. When I saw those 20 missed calls from my wife, I was seriously pissed off. It's almost Cartman. It's almost Cartman. Like I said, she knows not to try to contact me directly, and a citation hurt my chances of getting a raise or promotion. I called her back and she was sobbing and asking if I was okay. I said, of course I was okay, and asked what the fuck was wrong with her to call me so many times. She was still crying and started talking about the fire. After that, I started half yelling at her about all the reasons it was dumb of her to call me. When I got home, she was super upset with me. I apologized for yelling, but she refused to talk. She's been pretty chilly the past few days. That is a great sentence.
It's been a bit chilly the past few days.
What's up, girl? You've been a bit chilly. I know it was not the best decision to yell at her, but I still think my anger is justified. 1, she knows I don't work in the secondary worksite very often. 2, she knows that I can't be contacted directly, and she could have just called the office. 3, 20 calls is absolutely insane. Am I the asshole? Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're an asshole in this circumstance, but it's not frustrations passed down from you. Your work has put a lot of fucking pressure on you and you're just overspilling.
That's a good point. I can agree with that. But I don't think that her girlfriend should ever be in a position where she's worried about the life of her. Like he said it himself, there were a few casualties and lots of seriously injured people.
Like, brother, you can understand why she was worried, no? Like, it makes sense.
No, apparently not. That's the point.
Imagine he works on just like an Amazon factory floor.
Imagine he works at Subway.
Man's working the lines.
It is called sandwich artistry for a reason. No distractions. Got it?
You packed 3 less boxes this hour? Don't let it happen again.
All right. Well, that is Am I the Asshole? I hope you played along with us, truly. I hope you were sitting there going, oh, you asshole.
Clutching pearls.
But I hope you enjoyed the judge, jury, and executioner role that we played today. If you'd like to see more of this, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to jump on and judge people for their wrongdoings morally, because I think it's so funny doing it. You feel so much higher when you're reading these
holier
posts.
than thou.
Yeah, and you're like, you forget about any time you've ever potentially wronged someone, and you're just sitting there go, oh, heavens to Betsy.
Yep, just,
how could you?
Forgetting any time I was ever an asshole and just being the perfect person.
Because we are.
Indeed.
Thank you very much for listening / watching this week's episode. If you are on the YouTube, please hit that like button, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. And if you are on audio, please give this podcast a review on your app of choice. It would
5
be
stars.
much appreciated. Yeah, 5's good. I've never actually specified how many stars I'd like. The most that you're able to give would be stellar if you can spare that many. I'm not sure what the currency goes these days on podcast star ratings, but if you can afford it, 5 would be nice. Thank you.
Yes.
Inflation is rough. Adios.